Well. Good night, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of Ireland Esports Collegiate Series. I am Obi Kane, and with me, of course, is the lovely Squavo, and we're in for a fun game today. We've got UCC Netsoc up against QUB Quokkas. They've already played each other before. There's a bit of grudge match going on here. It should be an interesting game. I believe we've casted both of these teams before, so I may be a bit more familiar with these lads, but regardless, I think it should be interesting, and I'm looking forward to hear what Squav has to say about it. What are we thinking, Squav?
It seems like every time I show up here, it's a UCC game, which I'm always gonna love. Shout out to my local boys, but really excited to see these two go back at it again. They played in week 1, the first game of week 1, so both these teams' first games were against each other, and we did see UCC come out victorious that time. But it's been a hectic couple of weeks, and they've had plenty of time to play with each other. The QB have had time to scale up, and since then, both teams coming up 4-2. You could say maybe QB have had the harder games, but all will be revealed on the Rift tonight.
That'll be interesting. I definitely think so. I remember specifically UCC Netsoc game because they have played TUD Apes Alpha, or I believe the Daredevils. Sorry, it was the Daredevils they played before, and I remember that game was streamed. And as far as I remember, it was won by TUD Daredevils, but I do remember a really good performance from the AD carry of UCC, which was MIBM, which would be someone to watch out for in this game. So that would be the first game streamed today. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. QUB up against UCC. I'm not really too sure myself how this could go. Both teams are 4-2, so they're both won matches and are both kind of good, even standard. It's not kind of going to be a stomp in this game anyway, hopefully, and hopefully we'll see some kind of spicy picking out as we do get into the draft. We're seeing the bands come on here. Lilia, Jinx, and Aatrox, and we do see the Jarvan, Nocturne, and Fiora band away for the side of QUB. Squad, what are we thinking here?
I think it's really nice to land the NYBM on the Xayah here. I think it's really nice to give him tools to let him succeed by himself, because he is kind of the standout player in this team, and having that little bit of self-peel, to pop that Xayah ulti whenever he can is definitely good. But we do see an Azir and Twitch answer here from QUB.
Azir and Twitch, that is a bit spicy. I don't think I've seen a Twitch yet so far, but it should be... I don't know, if it gets behind, it's a bit rough for the side of QEB. It's a statement anyway. It basically says, look, I think I'll get through the early game and I think I'll get ahead. Xayah getting locked up there with the Blitzcrank as well, getting locked in there. What do we think about the Blitzcrank? That'll be a pretty good pick against the Twitch, I imagine, if he gets on him.
Yeah, obviously that's the death of picking the mobile AD carry so early, is that you are opening up to yourself to something I would have thought would have been easier, like something like a Nautilus, but Blitzcrank, they want to cook in this bot lane. They want to get NYBM ahead. Obviously, last time we saw these boys on stream, they had a bit of coordination issues with the Taric and the Nyla there in the bot lane, just not knowing when to go in and go out. But with Blitzcrank, it's pretty cut and dry,
Yeah, just one job. Go in, get kills, and get out. As we do see, they're hovering the Braum, which would be an interesting pairing with the Twitch. You got the Braum passive to slow down the enemies. As well as that, there's a lot that can be done to just set up kills for the Twitch. Also disengage as well. There's a lot that Braum can provide. So it's a nice pick regardless, and it is going to get locked in there, as well as the Victor for the side of QUB. Again, I'm not too sure how strong that champion is, especially looking at the world's meta at the moment. We're seeing a lot of Azir, but we are seeing more Oriannas getting locked in. So it's interesting that UCC didn't opt to take the Orianna, but maybe they just weren't comfortable on the champion. But regardless, Victor can do a lot as well. I just don't think it would do as much as the Ori.
Yeah, I suppose the whole thing that you'd have to think about, it really is a kind of function over fashion here. If he's not comfortable with the Orianna and he can see who he's playing against in his matchup, obviously feels comfortable enough to go Victor on blue into Azir. Obviously, we saw the QUB mid laner play Azir the last time these two matched up, and he was kind of the shining light for his team. Interesting to see how Hawk can maybe tweak his performance ever so slightly so he doesn't give as much of a lead to the opposing mid laner. But yeah, I suppose it's function. I do like the Braum pick a lot though. Obviously feels comfortable enough to play it. With Twitch will provide him that little bit of space to let him do what he does, and that passive in the early game just does so much damage.
Braum passive does so much. People underestimate how much damage that Braum passive provides, and even just Braum throwing a Q around can really set up Twitch if he gets a couple of autos in. Got a gank potential, disengage with the ulti. There's just so much that Braum can do and provide for the team, and I really like if they rounded this team comp to be a bit more I don't know, beefy, because they don't really have much of a front line besides the bomb to kind of face tank damage. So maybe we'll see a tanky top laner for the side of QUB, but at the moment, ban's getting locked in there, going to be... I actually can't make that out. Is that a Zach? I can't see what was the last ban for the side of QUB.
Zach and a Jax for QUB.
Zach and a Jax getting locked in there for QUB.
Kane, and we do see the Ornn, QUB locking up Ornn here as their red 4. I want to maybe... Before I say my thoughts, maybe get your thoughts. What do you think of the Ornn there on the 4, giving counter pick over to the jungler?
Interesting. I definitely think there's a lot that it can provide with the ornaments, and I mean, it's a staple Irish community pick. I mean, when you're in doubt, just lock in the Ornn. It does nothing and everything at the same time because it gives you team items, and all you really have to do is just sit top lane and just hold TPs for when you need a team fight. I personally like it, but I could see the top lane counter pick available for the side of UCC, it getting heavily punished with some of the meta picks at the moment, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I think ornaments definitely a lot that they can provide. Not so much, I'd say, for the Azir, but the Twitch definitely with some juiced up items would be nice. And the Darius and the Maokai getting locked in response as well. They want some kind of lane kingdom, I guess, there for the side of QUB. Nasty combo there with Maokai Darius as well. I'd be a bit worried if I was the side of UCC of Queens right now, but they do have that Twitch in the bot lane, which is kind of a living magnet, because if Maokai doesn't opt to go for bot lane ganks and does put this Darius ahead, he could sack bot lane and end up with a Twitch grabbing 2 or 3 items, and they really don't want QUB's AD carry getting ahead in these fights. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, really.
Yeah, as we do see a Moo at the last second there getting locked in. I think it's interesting. I think the Queen's top laner is going to have to be very careful. Obviously, we all know what Darius wants to do, and the Netsoc Rebels top laner has really been like religiously like committing to the Darius, no matter what, ways to get onto you, and a lot of ways to protect their Twitch as well. UCC looks like they may need to scale more, but I think the matchup to watch here is the Maokai against the Amumu, because Illusion X really carried UCC through their last game with KDA of 8-1 and 8 on the Lilia. This time has to adjust to playing like more of a tank oriented thing, and maybe playing for NYBM more than himself. But I think it's going to make for a really interesting game, these two compositions.
Definitely think the Xayah is fairly nasty when she gets ahead. We've seen a lot of that being picked up at the Worlds as well. We've seen, bits of Ezreal, bits of Kai'Sa, but we have seen a fair bit of Xayah as well. So she's strong enough for the pro players. She is strong enough here. I definitely think versus a Twitch should definitely be careful early game, because all it takes is a couple of loose daggers and you've got yourself first blood going over there for the side of UCC. So it's kind of reliant on the Queen's AD carry not really falling behind early, because they're kind of on a timer for the side of once Twitch gets 2 or 3 items, he can kind of nearly take over the game with a bit of peel. But do Queens have enough peel to provide for the Twitch? I don't know.
Yeah, I do think you're quite correct. This game could live and die by a Blitzcrank hook or 3 feathers on the ground for UCC. It doesn't feel to me like NYBM will need that much to take over this game. He just seems kind of like very well equipped to kind of take over these games if he gets any bit of a lead. So if I'm Maokai and I'm Blitzcrank, we're coordinating hooks and ganks to a T to try and get NYBM ahead here, because I do think this UCC team really lives and dies by like how he plays, as well as Kamelo Bing and Hawk not not getting lane kingdom in the process. It's kind of that sort of a thing. So I'm interested though. I would think that I would give the like slight edge to UCC just for the fact that they're playing on blue side and they did win last time out. But I think this could also really be up in the air.
Definitely think there's some interesting factors there. The Darius is one I'm not really want to write off neither, because if Darius gets ahead, it is going to be very, very hard, I think, for the side of UCC, of QUB, I mean, because there's a lot that Darius can do with a couple of items and a lane kingdom. As I kind of worry for the side of QUB. It really does live or die on whether Twitch can do something. Sure, they have the peel, and there's a lot that they can do in that regard. But I also think that QUB have maybe a more dangerous comp to execute. They have an Azir, they have a Twitch, and they have an Ornn. There's a lot of triggers that need to be pulled at the right time, because if you pull them at the wrong time, when you Shreema shuffle the wrong member back, or you don't peel the Twitch or peel Xayah off the Twitch, really, things can get very heated. And I definitely think QUB really need to watch out for that. But I mean, if they're kind of in a position where they're locking Twitch R2, they definitely see some value in locking that champ in, and I definitely think there's something that is said for, I guess, the confidence for the QUB AD carry for locking in this champ. And I'm kind of interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of guts to. I mean, I know as a top laner, I'm never gonna be the guy that's like, yeah, lock me or two. I'm so confident like playing this champion that like it doesn't matter what they pick. He saw the Xayah pick and was like, yeah, this is a Twitch game regardless of what else happens. So I do really like that confidence on the side of QUB. You know, it shakes up all the draft plans when it happens while you're playing, and you know, you're like, oh, what does he know that I don't? That he's just gonna lock in Twitch on two. Obviously, they respond with the Blitzcrank just as quick, so I'm excited to see like a super volatile bot lane. It's going to be all about positioning, really. You know, Blitzcrank not walking up too far because of how deadly that Braum passive is, and likewise Twitch not walking up too far for CS because one hook and this game could go pear-shaped very quickly.
Both teams kind of in precarious positions, really, and I definitely think you're right there. It kind of lives or dies on whether they play the early game well and don't give the kills on early, because a lot of snowball potential really from both sides, particularly in that top lane for the side of UCC and the bot lane for the side of QUB. But I think we're going to throw it to a break, but we will be back shortly for game 1 of week 4 of IECS. Don't go anywhere, lads. And we are on the rift for game 1 of week 4 of Ireland Esports Collegiate Series, where we've got UCC Netsoc going up against QUB, and we might see some spicy stuff right now, Squavo, as they might be setting up for an invade here.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I know Blitzcrank is the invade champion, but going into the Braum seems like you're asking for trouble. So if I was on the side of UCC here, I'd be screaming at my team to stay back, and it looks like there won't be anything major here. I will note just the one thing, because I saw a couple pings going out there before the game started, is that the Xayah does have cleanse. Maybe just another, escape tool, kind of to be more self-sufficient, not as reliant on your Blitzcrank here, is also gone Glacial Augment.
Yeah, I've seen some supports doing that before. I think it's been meta for a bit now. It's just strange. I think really they should have nerfed that a while ago to make it not as strong, because back in the day, people used to go Green Tree. Like, you see Braum there going Guardian, or, Guardian, but like they used to go the Green Tree. Now going towards Glacial Augment, I guess it gives a bit more versatility in builds, and you can kind of go more Sorcery for a bit more AP for Blitzcrank, but I don't know. I guess that kind of just doesn't make it as fun, because I do like the fact that supports can get a bit tanky as well, but if you want to kind of make them as strong as they can, I guess you do have to go for something like Glacial, but maybe it does need to be nerfed.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, as we did see Blitzcrank just hook into nowhere there, losing 100 mana before the lane starts. Hope that doesn't matter too much for them. But yeah, obviously this cleanse almost completely negates the need for the Twitch exhaust, because it'll be one after the other straight away unless they somehow get desynced. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I've seen a lot of Xayahs, they like the ghost, they like the heal. Cleanse it's all about the eye of the beholder, isn't it? It's whichever one they decide is best for them.
I have to say, though, a bit of noodle fighting going on in the top lane, though. I kind of expect Darius to be really aggressive early on as Ornn gets a bit tankier. I think his best time to really assert dominance and kind of lay down the law is probably early on, and it's kind of get the snowball rolling. He did go for the ghost as well, so that's to be aware of for those objectives that Ornn can TP down, but it's going to be a long walk for Darius.
A summoner has disconnected.
Yeah, an interesting one. You hope Minion Hunter 101 can really live up to their name, because CS is going to be a huge factor in whether or not Ornn survives this lane. Obviously, when we saw Kaume Baobing play on stream last time, he kind of got victimized. So hopefully, he can really assert his dominance here in a matchup that you wouldn't think is that much more difficult than the one that he played last time. It's just a matter of it's player diff kind of a thing. He's gonna test Minion Hunter, see what his jukes are like, and see what his game knowledge is like as well. So I do think that one's going to be pretty interesting. I don't envision a lot of jungle intervention in that top lane. I think they're going to be left on an island because of how explosive this bot lane could end up being. So I do expect both bot laners to transition down to the bot lane as soon as they can, but both have begun with bot side clears, which is interesting when you think about what they're trying to achieve, or what they should be trying to achieve, I suppose. So they could either be fighting for top grab or they could just walk straight back down. Either way, it's a bit of a weird decision. But yeah, I suppose Illusionix and Leeway could intervene in that top lane after all.
I definitely think it's a bit interesting that he did go for that bot side start for the Amumu, because definitely when you're rocking a Twitch Braum, they're fairly aggressive and they have a bit of damage. Definitely, I don't think there's a lot they can do early as well. Like, not so much early, but with a bit of help from Amumu, just putting that Xayah behind, you know, making sure Blitzcrank kind of doesn't get anything too mad off, would probably be more beneficial than going up and making sure Ornn doesn't die. But I guess they kind of expect that Illusionix is going to try and put a lot of these kind of pressure towards that top side to make sure Kamaui Babane gets ahead. And I guess countering that is probably priority 1 for the Amumu. But other than that, I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, I suppose with the Braum pick, they kind of the hope would be that that Twitch and Braum can sustain themselves and kind of negate a lot of what NYBM and Riot want to do. But I do still think that you know, strong siding Ornn is kind of a meme that we have amongst ourselves. But you know, it can be a very strong champion. But really, I would want like a champion like Twitch, which, you know, there is no guarantees about Twitch. It's kind of, you know, he kind of gets ahead or he doesn't, and he will struggle if he doesn't. Whereas, you know, with Xayah can always be useful because it has, she has her own CC and her own ability to survive by herself. But yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. I would probably fundamentally disagree with what the junglers are doing here, both starting bot side, but I think that could also just be a force of habit and how these teams want to play these games, which you know, I will stress is the important nature of this is how comfortable they are in their game plan.
I also think as well, considering the meta at the moment is just bot, getting your bot laner ahead is just like, you know, probably the most valuable thing you could probably do right now in the current meta game. So yeah, it's interesting. Although, to be fair, at this level, does it really matter if you have a 4-0 Darius? We saw Arcane do it last week as well. He was, what, 8-0 on the champion in our first game we casted? So yeah. I think regardless, it doesn't entirely matter. As long as we're not at that professional level where we can say, oh yeah, just put it on the AD carry, and as long as we stand there, they kind of just do it for us. But we are going to get back into game 1 here, and my god, that is a nice Xayah skin, Splav. Just comment on the old aesthetics there. That is a really nice Xayah skin. Yeah,
it's gorgeous, isn't it? I hope to be seeing a lot of it in these replays. You know, a lot of bot lane action. That's really what we come for. But that will kind of depend on how these lanes end up playing out. I'm just very excited. You know, we've had a bit of a pause now. I'm super excited to just get into this game, get down to the meat and potatoes of it all.
Yeah, we're back into it now. The pause glitch just happened there, but we just got through it there. And at the moment, we're seeing a bit of a CS lead already for the Darius. And we see Minion Hunter 101 being forced to hunt those minions under his turret as Amumu and Maokai both topside. But yeah, I don't know. It's some explosive lanes at the moment. I think really will be the bot lane as a lost player. The hook does connect onto the Twitch. Ignite coming down. Braum trying to peel for him, trying to keep away, but he's getting super low there. Maybe he gets hit by the either. No, he does not. But Crimson Chaos super low right now and missing a flash.
That is exactly what I want to see from Riot and NYBM in this lane. They picked this, you know, they saw a Twitch empty pick on R2 and decided that it was a Blitzcrank.
And we're seeing it again. A lot of damage coming out here. Braum super low, but he did have the shield to block a lot of the damage. The E not going to do enough damage when she retracted those feathers though. And Twitch is going to be walking away there with a bit of damage of his own back onto the Xayah. Both bot laners taken super low and a very UCC heavy play there.
Yeah, I think the important thing to note is while nobody died here, and I do suspect that recalls will be coming out to kind of try and withstand this lane, maybe on both sides, depending on how much pressure they want to put on. The main thing to note here is that NYBM gets out with both of his sums, and the Blitzcrank still has flash. So if you compare that to on the other side, no sums at all here on the bot side. No flashes for the next 5 minutes for either of those guys. It's going to be a big one.
Something's coming out here, but the Amumu is bot lane right now, so he might be able to do something if the hook does connect onto the Blitzcrank. A lot of damage coming through. Can he get it? No, he cannot. But is Blitzcrank going to try and get something back? No, he doesn't. And this is also wrong for UCC. That's 2 kills going over to QUB. And I mean, what can you do really? Better bot wins that play.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but I don't know. NYBM and Riot make the decision that they want to try and cheese when they had a free recall. They could have just went back, used their sums advantage, had an item advantage as well because they would have had the cheater recall, and they would have been just fine to freeze the wave on their side and pretty much take over this game. But instead, they want to get ahead right now. They don't want to wait to do all that fancy wave nonsense. And instead, they want to go straight for the play, and it blows up in their face.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate right there, especially the fact that Amumu managed to rotate down just in time for the gank. Because I think, give it a couple more seconds there, and I think that was a double kill for NYBM. But it was just, yeah, just unfortunate timing really for the side of UCC. It shouldn't really dissuade them, but at the same time, it is something to keep aware of, as we do see one kill and an assist now sitting on that Twitch. Did opt for the Vampiric Scepter, and I think it's just slightly, yeah, 500 gold ahead as well. Not the start you want for your Xayah.
No, definitely not. 500 gold deficit. Obviously, it has the CS, and that wave is just bounced back, so not too bad. But yeah, starting against a Vamp Scepter on the Twitch, there's still a lot of, not to say that this is completely written off, because there's plenty of potential.
A lot of gank coming through here. The Ignite going to go down, and the kill back in response onto Crimson Chaos, who didn't have the summoners to get away there, and a really nice play coming out there from UCC in response. Nice Blitzcrank hook, pulling it back in. Down goes the Twitch, and are they going to opt for the Dragon here? I don't know.
I don't think they really should be prioritizing the Dragon right here. Well, maybe after these waves it could be fine, but obviously mid-prio not on their side here. But whether or not they make that decision is up to them. That's what I was just getting around to say before the hook went in, was that we're at such an early stage when you're playing against such a volatile lane. Well, like a Blitzcrank and a Xayah, you can get caught at any second, and he does get caught with his pants down there. No Braum next to him. And yeah, Crimson Chaos goes down, so kind of negates the early play. Unfortunately, the kill did go to Illusion X on the side of UCC, so still playing slightly behind is the Xayah, but I expect a lot of blood in this lane. I don't think that these early deficits will matter all that much.
Yeah, but UCC Amumu opting towards that top side, but is going to get spotted on the blue ward there. He knows that it is there, so he drops the red trinket down to take it out. Nicely done from Kameli Babing there.
Yeah, just he's been trying to freeze this wave on his side for the majority of this game, and you can see that has materialized in a 23 CS lead. And yeah, he does need to be wary that this Amumu is still on the side. He is pushed up, and if I know anything about Kamei Babing, is that he is entirely vulnerable to this.
Out of the 12, forward's gone onto Kamei Babing. A lot of damage coming through. Flash forward, goes popped as well. Does have the Noxian Guillotine, but that doesn't really matter. Amumu, too late to get the kill over, and it'll be two summoners going over for the Ornn. And actually more considering the fact that that wave's pushing into the turret. And Darius doesn't have TP back in response, and he is looking to stay here, but maybe a bit dangerous with Ornn's flash. A lot of damage. Not gonna get him though.
Minion Hunter had that if he wanted it. He could have taken. He had full health. He could have taken a couple terror shots, and I think he definitely would have got that kill off the brittle proc if he had decided to E in. But instead, decides to play maybe safe. He will push the minions in. Maybe the more strategic play is getting that demolish proc and that terror play. Makes him miss a wave, and kind of negates like any early pressure that he had against him. Kamei Babing hasn't really been able to push onto him all that much. So yeah, that is the story of Kamei Babing and UCC this season, is that he is so gank prone all the time, always pushed up, most of the time on that Darius. So I do think these teams might be lining up for a bit of a Herald play.
Fight going on here, it seems. The Braum pass nearly procced onto the Maokai, but here comes the Blitzcrank, maybe a bit late. Amumu's going in. Curse of Sad Mummy is available if need be, but nothing to pop so far. Out comes the Chaos Storm from the Victor. Super low Braum. Are they going to get him in the end? Yes, they are. Noxian Guillotine. Darius taking the kill, and it might be Darius Ali. Do they get one? No. Out comes the Shurima Triple Knock some of the members back. Mumu super low himself, reignited on the Azir, and it's going to be a 2 for 2 now in favor of either team, but the kill back in response. Out comes the ulti from the Maokai, and down goes the Azir. A 2 for 3, UCC getting the 3 in this case.
Yeah, what a super exciting fight that was. I really thought that it was looking QUB favored when they got caught in that bush. Instead, it really didn't end up that way. He was Hawk was able to stall there for like as long as he could. He had the Chaos Storm down, he had his W down as well, and once NYBM arrives, really using that game sense here, living up to the hype that I've kind of been giving him throughout this broadcast, because I do think that he is a very bright spark on this UCC team, and he gets the call to move up. Crimson Chaos was rooted to his lane, had no intention of going up for that, and once Kamei Babing arrived, got the reset on the Noxian Guillotine, and then NYBM arrives. It's just super nice for UCC, and they're playing with a lead now. They have their Dragon, not quite the Herald yet. They might end up going back for it, but yeah, very exciting play there for UCC.
3 kills, I believe, just from that fight alone, or was it the 2? But at least 2 going over to NYBM there means he's 3-1-1 with the shutdown. And what started as a fairly rough start against the Twitch turns into an advantage for him, which means he could be gank prone at the moment here for the Amumu. Probably looking to get that shutdown over soon. And we do see the teams passing along there. No dragon up for a minute and a half, but they want to get these wards down and get that vision control early. Braum laying down the law as we see the Amumu in that mid lane is looking maybe towards some top lane, maybe a Rift Herald.
Yeah, I did think that the Herald story wasn't fully finished when I saw that fight break out. Both teams seeming very keen on establishing their part in this game with some tower plates off that Herald. But I can confirm to you that that was a triple kill for NYBM, and he's looking really good to go now with double buffs as well. I do also want to give a quick shout out to Wright on the Blitzcrank, who was able to pull the Amumu off of Hawk, so that Hawk was able to focus his attention on what was ahead of him, that was the Braum, and kind of take a chunk out of him rather than having to use all of his cooldowns into an Amumu that he was never really going to kill.
Yeah, it was a really nice Chaos Storm. He had just put so much damage into the Chaos Storm. The hook does connect there onto the Braum. Root not going to land though, unfortunately, and he does walk away with his life. We do see Hawk passing down towards his bot side, but not going to opt for it in the end. We do see the junglers hovering around here. Ornn is setting up really for this Rift Herald, and at the moment, Maokai's recall, this could just be a straight Rift Herald for the side of QUB, but they're going to leave it and probably opt for something new.
Yeah, I do. I have been criticizing Kamei about Bing here, but I do think that his buy is really, really smart. Playing against an Amumu and an Ornn, both heavy magic damage dealers, especially early in the game with the brittle procs and the tiers. It does end up with those Mercury Treads against double magic damage topside. A really good decision, I think, and really sets him up nicely to contest this Herald. And QUB do decide that they're not well equipped enough to contest that one.
I wasn't really too sure about the Merc Treads first, because originally what he had before that fight started was just the Merc Treads, I believe the shield, but once that fight happened, and he actually got a lot of usage out of the Merc Treads in that fight against the Amumu and against the Ornn, it really paid dividends for him, and again, he got 2 assists and a kill, and he just immediately recalled, got the Hearthbound Axe, and it was like nothing happened.
Yeah, definitely not great for getting your lead, but once he did have it, it was really nice. But I do think the fight's breaking out here.
Nature's Grasp gonna be popped there, but it doesn't matter, it looks, because QUB still gonna take that dragon. But do UCC want to force something off it? No, they do not, and it's going to be a clean getaway right now, as we do have the Hextech Soul, as I've been learning about, a very valued soul in pro play. We got the Mountain, and we've got the Hextech, and I think the Hextech for that Xayah would be fairly nice for UCC, and especially for QUB now, with the Azir, with the Twitch. There's a lot they can get out of this Hextech.
Yeah, what I love about this, let the Hex Gates open, and we see Amumu employing the Hex Gate already.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for something here. Blitzcrank is going to find him, though. Hook is available if need be. Jungler not there just yet. Ulti going to get popped. Hook connects. Ignite comes down. Out comes the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Xayah popping the Feather Storm. Got a Route 3. Really nicely done from NYBM. Crimson Chin trying to walk away with his life there. Crimson Chaos. My God, he gets taken out anyway. Braum flashing over the wall. He might be the only one to survive that, but that was really nicely played from UCC.
Maybe close the Hex Gates for Leeway. It all goes wrong there for the Amumu. Obviously just comes up a bit too early and doesn't fully commit to the play. He must have gained some knowledge in the process of jumping into that gate, but tries to walk away through Tribrush, as we do see Saber Ethan executing there, maybe the correct decision. But yeah, a first turret to UCC as well off the Herald. It's all gone wrong for QUB here. A sizable lead now for UCC, and just like a very interesting thing there that Wright was fully convinced that they could take that fight because he knew that his jungler was on the way. So he tried to stall the Amumu for as long as possible, hit the silence, and then the Amumu had no choice but to ulti there. And, it was all over once NYBM popped that triple ultimate there and was able to root everyone up in that fight. Really, really nice play from him.
I think NYBM played that so well. The 3-man route off the Featherstorm recall was super nice. And he locked up just who he needed. He got the Twitch, he got the Amumu, and he got that Braum, all in the neat little package. And right there, 4-1 and 2. He's got a Kraken Slayer. He's got a Berserker's Greaves as well. A lot of damage coming out here. Azir trying to put a bit down himself in response. But we do see some of these items coming out here. We do see Jack Show for the Amumu. Also see... And the other side, for UCC, we do also have the Demonic Embrace and the Luden's Tempest as well. So it's kind of some of this early game, mid-game spike kind of coming online here for both teams. But at the moment, it's UCC in the driver's seat a bit here with a 2k goal lead.
Yeah, just to talk QUB for a minute, as they maybe are looking for a 3-man here in the top side. Don't take your eyes off Jojo GA in the mid lane for a second. He tried to carry this team in this matchup last time. He could do it again.
Cameron Babin getting knocked up with the Call of the Forge God into the hook, trying to flash it. Curse the sad mummy, they're not going to connect. Out comes the Glacier Fisher, but oh no, they're not finished just yet. Maokai not going to knock him back direction, unfortunately, but that was a lot of resources for the one kill onto Darius.
Yeah, a lot expended there. Obviously, you have both the Brom and Ornn and Amumu Ultimates. The Amumu Ultimate going wide as well. They're also very fortunate that that Maokai Q just didn't quite go the way they wanted it to. If Amumu got knocked under that tower, it could have been a 1-for-1 just as easily as we saw Illusion X come in there. But they do get off, and I think that is a play that QUB needed to make, regardless of what it costs, because they could be feeling in those comms very down on themselves right now. With how the last couple of fights have been going. You know, they've lost a lot of control on the map. They lost their bot side tower. They're losing vision in the river as well, as we do see UCC pinks all throughout the bot side. But you know, they just need to play to say, not to worry yet. You know, this game is far from over, and we have plenty of resources, you know, in Azir and a Twitch to try and come back into this game. So there's nothing by any means has been counted yet. So I think they really need to play to show that.
Oh, they're going to find him. The Hex Gig going to use there for the Amumu. Did find him out, knock him back, but I think that just went wide, unfortunately, when he gets him out there. MYBM picking up the kill into the Azir. I'm pretty sure the Emperor's Divide didn't connect onto anyone there.
No, not quite. He just couldn't extend himself far enough to get the Xayah in. Even still, Xayah has ulti and cleanse. I think it would have been a really difficult play for Jojo GA to make. I think there's just a hint of desperation in that play. And NYBM picking up another kill this time on QUB's most valuable member.
Not just yet though, Squab. Maybe he gets the Brom for his troubles there. A lot of damage coming through. Brom shield actually saving his life a lot at the moment, especially with these Xayah feathers, the recalls. Brom is such a handy champ to have for QUB. It's just a matter of when he uses that shield, really, because after that shield's gone, he's getting rooted.
Yeah, super valuable, right? I think if any other support was picked in this situation, with the amount of hooks that they have been getting hit by, that Brom shield is coming up super clutch for them. And it saved them in the level 2, and it's saving them a lot right now as well. They could be considerably further behind.
Awkward form might get caught out here. Azir going in, ulti not available, but the Chaos Storm gets popped in response. The root comes through from the W for Victor there, but the exhaust coming out, and Crimson Chaos gonna take out the kill onto Aqua Formed.
Yeah, Crimson Chaos maybe just a little bit desperate for gold there. Pops the exhaust to make sure there is no doubt about it that they would be able to get out with that pick there. I don't think the action in the bot lane is over quite yet, as we see a TP.
Yeah, TP coming out here. Amumu going in. Missed hook, unfortunately, but out comes the Glacier Fisher. Call of the Forge God gonna come out, and it's a nice wombo comp for QUB. But Xayah is still alive. She takes out the Brom. Blitzcrank goes down, but this Xayah still alive, and QUB members are taken super low at the moment. Can they do something back? Twitch forced to flash away. Darius doesn't have summoners yet, but you do see the Xayah still alive. Illusion X gonna go down himself. Are they gonna get the kill into the Zorn? Yes, they do. Out comes the Noxian Guillotine, but a really nice Emperor's Divide this time from Jojo. He's gonna go out there. Out comes the Darius ulti. He's chasing kills right now. Ghost going to be up in a second, and maybe he gets Twitch right now. Doesn't have anything else, but it's going to be the E for the Victor to pick up the kill onto Crimson Chaos. And after all that, it looked so nice for the side of QUB. It might just turn into a Hextech Dragon for the side of UCC.
Yeah, what a chaotic fight that we see there, right? Dude, we saw NYBM get hit by the Amumu ulti there in the back, and just has enough time to come out of the stun and press R just before the Call of the Forge God hits him. And I talked about that a lot in draft. It was giving him resources to help himself survive in these fights, and it did extend the play. I thought it would look a lot better for them, but they get out with a pretty nice dragon for it.
And we did see as well that Maokai did know what was going on. They knew they were going to try and force the Rift Herald, and Amumu doesn't want to get out of this until he gets it. Both smites are available. Two members of UCC. QUB are actually a bit behind here, as MYBM going to be the first one to make it onto the scene. A lot of damage coming through. Brom goes down. Chaos Storm going to be used. That's probably important as the hook connects there onto the Twitch. Twitch is over the wall. MYBM picking up stuff, but it's a triple kill for Aqua Form, and they're not done just yet. Down goes the Xayah. Victor might be next. Azir is actually doing bits at the moment, but Darius is on the scene. He's got his mythic completed, but it doesn't matter. He does have the Noxian Guillotine. Can he land it on the Azir? No, he cannot. That is going to be the ace for QUB.
That was wild. I do want to point out that Twitch was able to get the I'm pretty sure it was the Twitch that got the Herald over the wall with his ultimate, but they are going to reap the rewards of that as well. Just arriving to the fight just a bit late, Jojo G, I was talking about how dangerous he can be on this Azir, and he was pumping out DPS after DPS. Kamei Baobing maybe unlucky to clean it up there, missed his last Q, and really paid for it. A clean ace going over to QUB, and we have a fully level game here on the 20-minute mark. Baron spawning. This is where you want any League of Legends game to reside.
Neatly 2 items complete now for Jojo G at the moment. He does have the Nashor's completed as well. Next fight, he is doing work. And I mean, for someone who didn't do too much early on, he's really putting a lot of pressure on the side of UCC right now, who are kind of neat to turtling at the moment. 6 of your kills are on the Xayah. There's only so much you can keep her alive there, as we did see that Darius was just late. They really need more frontline pressure and a bit more engage going on, because it can't really just be Xayah plus Maokai. Because at that point, what are you going to do if you burst it all onto the Twitch while the Azir's still alive? And he can still do what he wants to do.
Yeah, it feels like NYBM has really been up close and personal with the front line in every single one of these fights, and Darius has been late to most of them. Obviously, the Maokai kind of diving in to make sure that the Twitch can't do anything, but that is the, you know, the opportunity cost of doing that is leaving your Xayah all there alone. I suppose that's why they have the cleanse, but with an Emperor Divide that clean, there's not much that a Xayah can do about that, especially when they're already in the pit. So, yeah, your point is fully spot on, where, you know, NYBM needs more support in the front line, maybe needs Maokai to sit off a little bit.
Maybe hold on to it a bit more, maybe save the W's for the Twitch or the Azir, or kind of just whoever Xayah's targeting, and they just need to target as one cohesive unit, really. Because if they're targeting scattered, you kind of saw that they were fighting the Azir on one side, they were fighting the Twitch on the other, but they didn't funnel enough resources onto either to take either one of them out, really. As you clearly saw that, it left enough for Twitch to get over as a hook connects onto the Blitzcrank. That might just start off the fight. Out comes the Glacial Fissure, didn't land on anyone. Nature's Grasp comes out. Is it going to catch anyone? It catches one. Can it catch two? NYBM, keep an eye on that guy. He's still alive. Curse the sad mummy though. Doesn't matter. 2 kills going over now for UCC. And who's there to keep him alive? No one really, but the Fatal Storm doesn't matter. He takes out the Azir. Jojo G going down. Kamababing taking out another, really. Takes out the Twitch. And it's looking really nice right now for the side of UCC, but we do see Xayah forced to go mid lane. She's going to push in this wave and really just make sure they don't go anywhere near. They can't take the Baron, they can't take the turret, they might lose the Ornn, and it looks like the jungler does not want to fight this Darius, who is taking some serious bleed damage onto that Ornn. That Ornn is about to die right now, and even without a summoner, that might just be a dead one as the E going to connect, the Ren going through, down goes the Ornn.
YBM doubters be damned. I've been talking about this guy the entire stream, and he just gets the position, pops the Featherstorm right as Jojo GA dives in onto him on the Azir, negates the Emperor's Divide, and then pops all 5 feathers onto Jojo GA, kills him. NYBM's positioning here has been really good. Did get caught with Curse's Ham on me, but used his sums to perfection, hit the cleanse out of it, and then was able to use the ulti to not get hit by that Emperor's Divide. He is clutching up for his team here when they have been kind of letting him down. Nobody got onto the Twitch in that fight, and NYBM just really, if he doesn't hit that 5-man or the 5-feather Featherstorm into Jojo GA, that's a completely different fight. We could be talking about a QUB Baron right now.
I mean, yeah, all the kills are currently sitting on the NYBM, and at the moment, I think QUB realized this as, what, they're just going to force UCC into a tight corner here. Okay, Kamei did clean at that end, but it was only because he was kind of late in there to begin with anyway. So really, it's up to QUB to just get onto NYBM, and I think they just start this Baron and turn into a fight as soon as my good words, NYBM walks in. But at the moment, they're doing the Baron and no members of UCC are here. And you do see again, NYBM nearly on his own here. Here comes the Maokai. They're trying to find someone. Xayah is getting engaged up with the Curse of Side Mummy, connects onto the Xayah. She's Feathers throwing the wrong direction, unfortunately, and that might just be it. Empress Divide not gonna matter though, because she gets taken out anyway. But it might not be over just yet. Darius is here. QB member super low, a huge Q. Knocks in guillotine, takes out another. Is it gonna be a triple kill? Maybe, but he might die. No, triple kill for Darius. And right now, it's Maokai versus 2. 3 for 4 in favor of QUB. And oh, that did not go so well, but it might not be over just yet. Maokai looking for the Amumu. Does he have the damage to take him out? Yes, he does. Maybe the W is going to be up. Auto coming through. Can he get him before he dies? Q takes him out. Down goes the Amumu. He doesn't matter right now. Regardless, they're not doing Baron, and I think he's just saved himself a bit of time. And maybe he's a bit greedy with this, as we do see the Bella's breath being popped there for the Brittle, and he kind of overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, Illusionix definitely had an opportunity to get out of there after killing the Amumu. It does greed, but I don't know what better action you can ask for on a Thursday night with a game like this. Dead even once again. If we saw the best of NYBM in the fight before, we saw the worst of them there. Featherstorming the wrong way, getting hit by 2 forms of CC, but that was Hulk Reformed coming in there, trying to clutch up, and then QUB Quokkas hitting 5 stacks onto 4 members of QUB there, hitting 2 Noxian guillotines, getting a triple kill, and then, you know, they had the fight won pretty much, or a 4 for 4 at least, but Illusionix overstays his welcome, and now we're looking at a dragon fight here.
Dead even right now. 300 gold for UCC. That is nothing. As the members of UCC are going to try and come in here. A couple of summoners are down. And here we go. The call of the Forge God going to connect onto NYBM. But QUB Quokkas is on his lonesome here. He might be trying to get a little pick on the side, but it doesn't matter as Azir is doing a serious amount of damage. Down goes Hawk Reformed. Down goes Darius. QUB looking strong. And Zaya, the really nice route coming out here. Curse the Sad Mummy going to land at the blitz onto Maokai. Out comes the Glacial Fissure. They're holding their ultis for when they need them. They didn't even need them before. Down goes the Braum ulti. And what were UCC thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like the QUB fight looked super disjointed because they popped the Call of the Force God so early, but then QUB Quokkas decides that he wants to 1v5, gets taken out very quickly by the Blade Laroon King that the Twitch has, and now we see NYBM just trying to farm for his life because I think he knows that a Baron for QUB here is more of an inevitability than anything. Just a really disjointed fight on both sides, but UCC opted into the fight after QUB had made their mistake instead of just backing off and regrouping. So yeah, big mistakes there from UCC, and they're going to feel the brunt of it here once this Baron goes down.
The thing as well to keep in mind here, lads, is that Ornn is level 14. Ornaments are coming online, and an Ornn with Baron, Hextech Soul, and ornaments on all his team is not a Baron you want, but a really nice hook connecting there onto the Amumu. They might be able to get a jungler for the trouble. A lot of damage coming out here. Down goes the Amumu, and currently QUB are 1 Baron buff down.
Yeah, it does feel more like a consolation prize than anything after losing that Baron. But they do pick up another kill there on Leeway. But yeah, you're exactly right, Oshin. The ornaments here, and I have been talking about Jojo GA and him being the shining light of QUB here. Level 15 on the Azir, 3 items, has a stopwatch, and is going to have an Ornn item Leandry soon. It's going to be very tough for UCC here going forward because they don't have the same innate gold value that Ornn can bring once he gets to this point. You know, you really kind of have to put him behind, or you reap what you sow, and it does feel like UCC are going to be reaping some very, very bad rewards soon.
We do see the Seething Sorrow already given over to the Twitch. So already there's going to be a serious amount of damage coming out. Add that onto the Leandries and even the Jack Show empowerment, the Unspoken Parasite, cool name by the way, going on to the Mbumu. They're going to be fairly hard to kill later on, and I don't know if UCC's comp is up to the task if they keep playing like this, really.
Yeah, you hope that Hulk can kind of keep up with the curve that Jojo Gia is setting, but he is very behind him at the moment. And it's just, you know, the hardest thing for NYBM is that, you know, even the Amumu can one-shot him. It's just a really tough comp to play into.
Call of the Forge God going to go wide there, but it doesn't matter as QUB Quokkas is getting absolutely chunked out from that Jack Show that's been upgraded already, but he's still alive, bit of lifesteal available, but Crimson Chaos says, no, I want the kill myself. And down goes the Darius, and so makes it 4 for UCC.
Yeah, this is just the kind of head loss that I've come to expect from UCC. You know, QUB Quokkas going down there again, but it looks like they might try to engage here.
They're trying to get something onto the Braum. The Glacial Fissure, though, really nicely done right there from the Braum. Are they going to get it? The Nature's Grasp going to take him out. Just enough damage, and I don't think I've seen the Maokai ulti kill someone just off the ulti, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah, you know, the whole thing that we were talking about with the Ornn items. Ornn himself upgrades his Jack Show, and you can see just the stats that he gets off it. QUB Quokkas is powerless to do anything against it. Was tanking like a Baron cannon minion the entire time as well. So all bad news for him there. That was a very close hook, and Illusionix will just go down there. They look desperate. They're feeling desperate, and now they're playing against Baron waves on both sides.
Yeah, it's a bit messy at the moment as we do see QUB saying, well, they're a bit disjointed here and they're all mid lane. We're just going to take a top turret at the moment, and they've opened up the base already. 29 minutes in, cracked that first inner turret, and I don't really know what UCC can do right now besides tunnel up. Turtle.
Yeah, we thought the UCC would maybe have you know, away in with the Dragons, but they have lost one since, and it's 2-2 in the Soul fight. So you know, they're gonna have to set up for the next one, because I think a Dragon Soul is gonna be their condition here. But they're gonna have to survive these fights in order to do that. No exhaust on the side of UCC. Darius obviously has that Ghost and an Ignite on the Blitzcrank. So no way of kind of stopping this Twitch from free hitting, because I do think the main target is going to have to be this Azir. But with the way that QUB have been playing fights, UCC don't really have a choice in who they're targeting, because the fights are always coming to them. Big engagers are QUB, and we will see it again here.
We do see a hook connecting there onto the Braum, but the W going to keep him alive for a bit longer. A serious amount of damage coming through there, and something to keep an eye on right now. All mythics are up, besides the support, or sorry, the mythic ornaments. All ornaments are out besides the Braum one. Azir does have the Liandry's Sorrow, Liandry's Lament even. So at the moment, I mean, QUB are in such an advantageous position, and even a hook like that is not enough to take someone out here. And Mumu and Braum right now are just hunting for a kill before they get their third Hex Tech, and there's nothing that UCC can do about it.
Yeah, I almost thought that hook was gonna hit Jojo there. Has to be a little bit more careful. But yeah, these fights feel super terrible for UCC to play. They're just getting chunked at every interval. And you know, we were even talking about Crimson Chaos was the man who was put behind, but he's doing an untold amount of damage in these fights now. Blitzcrank can barely step up to him, or else, you know, with that Braum passive that we were talking about in Champ Select as well, you know, all of these things that we spoke about before are coming back. All the strengths of QUB's comp are being used to great effect here, even when they had that early deficit.
Definitely think QUB are firmly in the driver's seat, and UCC want to force this Dragon, but it's going to get rough out now with the Call of the Forge God going to 3 members. A lot of damage. Curse of Sad moving on to 3 at the moment there, and it's a serious amount of damage. Down goes the mid laner, down goes the Braum, down goes the Zion, down goes UCC's hopes and dreams potentially of winning this game. Baron up in 50 seconds. I don't even know if they need it right now, as it's just Darius v4. 5.
Yeah, just really tough there for UCC. An amazing fight by QUB, but I have no idea why it's being even opted into to begin with. It's just, it seems super confusing. It doesn't really make a lot of sense why they would try and step up for that when it's not Soul, as you say, and it's already gone by the time they even get there, have a chance to engage. And by then, Minion Hunter 101, we haven't spoken about him a lot. We've only spoken about his champion and what that passive does, but has been pretty on point with these Ornn ultis, and you know, is able to force a cleanse out of MYBM, and then knocks him up against the wall, and he doesn't have any chance to do any damage. And without him, UCC aren't really anything. They live and die by that size damage.
That's the thing right now. It's pretty much MYBM v5 at the moment, and even then, it's only so much you can do really in those situations, unless you're a pro and you're so high elo that every game you go into, you play exactly as you can. And even then, pros make serious errors like that as well. That's a lot of pressure onto MYBM that he really shouldn't have on himself. There should be a lot more output there from Hawk, from Kamaba Bing as well. So it's just unfortunate that MYBM had to front a lot of this pressure here for UCC. And I mean, he did as good as he could early on, but right now, as all of the ornaments kind of have been divvied out, an extra, couple of thousand gold right there being given over to the side of QUB, it's just going to make it so much harder for them to do anything. And is there anyone around to W? That's the go button. Out comes the Call of the Forge God. They get one kill though. UCC starting off a fight, 4v5. This might be an advantageous position for them. They're pushing for the Ornn. Ornn's on his own. The rest of the members are not helping him. Out comes the Maokai ulti, and they're split. What are QUB thinking?
Why are QUB not walking forward to help their team there when they're so far ahead, have an extra Hextech Dragon, and are definitely well capable within a Mumu of saving that Ornn because of how tanky he is with his Jack Show? Instead, they hang him out to dry. They're going to lose a Baron for it potentially. This could be UCC's way back in.
That's completely UCC's way back in. I don't know what they were thinking there. And especially with the supers, I know it's, you know, puts a lot of defense onto UCC. They're forced to defend their base the whole time, but that's a lot of gold you're giving to UCC and an angle back into the game. If all they need to do is just farm a few super minion waves, get a couple more items, super minions give more gold than the regular kind. So at the moment, QUB really need to play this a bit more carefully. Yes, they're in the driver's seat, but it is not over yet. And I mean, at the moment, it's a bit interesting. QUB at the moment currently are ahead, but they're only ahead by about 2k gold. They're not ahead by that much at the moment. And I mean, right now, UCC pathing towards the dragon. The next dragon will be the Hex Tech, and this will be sold for QUB if they do opt to take it, but I'm not too sure what they're going to do. And I mean, at the moment, they're kind of pathing towards it. I kind of feel like UCC right now, they do have an avenue back into, but 4 items right now on that Xayah. She's just about even with the Twitch right now. In fact, she's 2k gold ahead. Xayah has more gold than anyone else in the game, and she's on UCC right now. So from such a disadvantageous position, MYBM is seriously doing his job well. And I mean, props to him. If there was any time to put on your carry pants, now would be it. Squavo, what are we thinking?
I'm thinking that these next few minutes are going to be completely crazy, and I can't tell you which way it's going to go, to be honest. I'm super excited to see both these teams at work now do what they do. Obviously, the inhibitors are quite something on the side of QUB. They have that going for them. That is a big factor, and it could play a very big factor in the way that the rest of this game is going to go.
We're saying there as well, MIBM currently has the most gold in the entire game out of anyone, but you see the engagement out here. Curse the Sad Mummy is available, does go into the Xayah. Bit late in the cleanse, but a really nice retraction of the feathers, but she goes down anyway. This might not be good for UCC. Down goes the Maokai, and it looked oh so well for UCC in the engage. That is going to be the game, it looks like.
Yeah, just super unfortunate. Just as they were getting their confidence back, it all comes tumbling down once again. Yeah, NYBM gets hit by, it's so hard for him to do anything, but gets hit by one too many bits of CC, bit late on the cleanse. Then the Emperor's Divide cleans it up for QUB as they will win the first game of week 4.
What an ending as well. It started so well for UCC. They looked so good in that engage. A lot of damage came out there. They killed one. And it just looked like everything was going to go well. They took out the Braum. They might get an isolated kill onto someone, but wow, that did not go the way that was expected there. And I mean, props to QUB there. As we clearly saw, most gold just sitting on MYBM, and it really showed there as, I mean, besides him, really tough for the other members of UCC to do anything there. As soon as he got taken out, QUB knew that as well, and they just said, well, look, lads, if we just turtle onto him, we get him. It was just unfortunate as well, because he did cleanse the Curse of the Sad Mummy a bit too late as well. Maybe he was holding on for something else there, maybe waiting for another ult to be bursted, but as soon as he did that, he had to blow the Feather Storm again to block the Emperor's Divide, and he just didn't have anything left to stay alive, really. There's only so much CC the man can block, like.
Yeah, after a game that exciting, it feels really bad that, one of those teams does have to lose a game like that after both teams put so much into it and play the game out. Neither team ever gave up, and it looked very dire for both teams in both like very different parts of this game. But all I really can say is, to the Ireland Collegiate audience, are you not entertained after a game so hectic, so exciting from two very, very good teams in this competition? I think both UCC and QUB both deserve credit for the ways that they played that game. Obviously, mistakes on both sides, natural, going to happen. But both teams stayed super vigilant, and both teams are a very dangerous prospect in this tournament.
Definitely. If you're one of the lower ranked teams and you're looking at maybe taking UCC or QUB on, geez, that wouldn't be something I'd want to be doing right there after that game. That was a really close game, and it really did show the best of what both these teams can do, especially for the side of QUB, who were very far behind early, playing back into it, and then very far ahead. And then UCC said, no, we'll come back into the game again. It was a flip-floppy game, and there was just great bit of League of Legends, really. That was just such an entertaining, but we are going to throw it to a break as we wait to get into game 2 of this week 4. Don't go anywhere, lads.